Right, I'm just getting ready to fit this gear shaft with a new oil seal. Now, the problem with this is the oil seal goes in there and it faces inwards. The open side faces inwards. And then we're going to put the shaft in, but the shaft can damage the lip of the oil seal as it tries to, because the lip of the seal is kind of facing the wrong way. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting the foot in first. I've lubricated everything quite heavily with lube. Just going to rest it on that hammer to hold the foot in place. And now I'm with lube everywhere. I'm going to try and fit the oil seal afterwards. I don't know how I'm going to do with this. Let's see if I can persuade it to go on that shaft without damaging it. Come on. I've got to get the lip on like backwards. It's not easy though. Okay, after an awful lot of hassle, I've managed to get the seal on. So I put the sort of shaft in first and then introduce the seal then over the shaft, which I think is, I'm trying to think how I've done it before. I don't know if it would be best to put some tape round the thread. It might be better to put tape round, like make a little cone and then see if you can push it on, or put the seal in first and then introduce the shaft with some tape and that over the thread. I don't know, or to put the shaft in and then put tape over. Anyway, I've managed to get it on, but I have to say it wasn't the easiest of jobs I've ever done. But we're on. So what we do then is, there's a cap somewhere, there's a bearing cap, there it is. So that then goes on over the top of the seal. When I say bearing cap, sorry, there's a seal cap. There's a circlip that holds the whole caboodle in place. There we go, just make sure that is in the groove, which it is. There we go. And that is the gear change shaft in position, which is a fairly simple thing, but gave us quite a bit of grief. Okay, now when we come to put this on, we need to align the foot so it's in the right position with the other foot that's in there. Okay, so we align the top edge of the foot with the center of this hole, so that when we look through, there it is. I just did it from the other side to make it clear. So there's the top edge of the foot just going through that hole, and when it's about halfway across, it's never perfectly halfway when you come to do it. When it's roughly halfway across and it engages with the other foot, that's right. Okay, what else? Whew. So then I've screwed in the adjuster for the primary chain tensioner. That's not really worn at all, so we reuse that. And I've got the adjuster screwed right into minimum. Then on the bottom of the adjuster, we have, most importantly, a Doughty washer. So a Doughty washer, that's a washer with like a little rubber seal in the middle, and that goes on to try and stop the oil leaking out or past the adjuster, this adjusting rod. And then we've got the nut that goes on, and I'm not going to do this up yet. I'll do it up a bit, but obviously I might just adjust the I think the tension on the primary chain is just about right, but what I might do is just adjust the adjuster up so it's just touching the primary chain. Right, so I've put the nut on with the doughty washer, but I've not tightened it up because I will be screwing this up when this is on, and until I just get the tensioner probably till it just touches the chain, and I know we're fine. Then I've got this, oh yeah, and don't forget there's a little rubber boot for whatever reason goes on the bottom of that, just to protect things, I suppose, I don't know. But they put one on there for looks, whatever. Yeah, we've got the, this is for the clutch cable. I'm not going to put it in yet. Well, I'll just put it in loosely so that I don't lose it. One thing to note is that the clutch cable, see if I can demonstrate this. The clutch cable goes through the primary chain case. You see that? So the cable goes in there into the primary chain case and then sort of back out of the primary chain case again into the clutch operating mechanism, into this housing. So in other words, there's a big hole here that will allow oil into here. So oil is supposed to be in here, not much, but yes, that hole is, and this for the bearing, it does allow oil to come into this area just to keep the mechanism lubricated. There shouldn't be that much. And then down the bottom there, if you can see that, there's a little drain hole so that, you know, oil comes in just enough to lubricate the mechanism, but there's a drain hole. Whoops a daisy, just trying to make sure you can see that. I can't see it, I can't see the camera. I'm trying, there you go, you can see it straight through. So that little drain hole. So oil can come in through this hole and it can come in through the cable hole into this area and then drains out. So when you take this cover off, people say, oh, I took this off and there's a bit of oil in there. So there's supposed to be, yes, just to keep that mechanism lubricated. Okay, how are we doing? I think that's about it. So, oh yeah, then of course we've got this radial bearing. So I'm going to put lots of oil on the radial bearing, lots of assembly lube. It's a bit high here, but I think you can see it. So I'm going to put it actually on the back here. I'm going to fit the radial bearing here. Okay. And it just slips over there like that. Give it lots of lube because it might take a while for the oil to get back here when things get started. And I'll put some actually on the this bearing face as well, just for good measure. And bringing you back over here. So putting some on that bearing face, and then also, of course, I'm putting some in the needle roller bearing that runs on the shaft. And again, there's no oil seal for that because again, it doesn't matter because we want some oil, you know, to come into here. So again, there's no actual oil seal there. There's normally you might find a plate with like little grooves in it here, which has been taken out in our case because this bike has a hydraulic clutch fitted, which I've never worked with before. So I'm interested to see what that's like. But so you might have a plate that's in here, but obviously it's been taken out in our case because we've got a hydraulic clutch conversion. Right, so with all those little bits and bobs on, oh yeah, I want to fit the last thing. I do want to fit the drain plug into drain plug and associated washer. Yeah, it's a bit of a bodge, that one. I think it's okay. I do want to fit the drain plug into the bottom of the inner primary chain case, which I haven't done before. So I'll do that, and I'll put a bit of well seal on it for good measure, and then just pop that in. And this fits in the inner the inner primary chain case that we've already got on the bike.